We are live.
What's up, Live Code Agents? Welcome to another episode of Real Labs, sponsored by our good friends over at Firepoint. And today we're talking with luxury agent, author of multiple books, Michael LaFido. We're going to actually talk about breaking into the luxury market and what we should be looking for and thinking about, as we start to, think about breaking into luxury markets, think about connecting with a high net worth clients, and what really is a luxury market? How do you define a luxury market? And Michael, thank you so much for joining us, man. I'm really, really excited about, talking about this particular topic with you, especially being that you've, been so successful. Just happy that you're with us, man. Thanks so much for joining.
No, it's a pleasure, and it's a pleasure to finally meet you. So looking forward to bringing as much value as we can to your members. Absolutely.
So, by the way, I'm in downtown Los Angeles, as you can see in the background, for the Closing Table Mastermind, and so that's why you see this. You may hear some background noise, but I wanted to jump right in with you, Michael, because you talked about something before we got on this call, and you mentioned really the definition, like how you define a luxury market. I'd love for you to just share that, because I think it's really important, especially with people that perhaps aren't in what you would maybe some people consider a high-end market. Like you said something earlier that really applies to any market in the country, and wherever you're at and you're watching this, I think this is something that could resonate with anyone. So love to hear from you on that.
Yeah, so last year I did a training in a small little town called Crown Point, Indiana, blue-collar town. The average sale price was $167,000, and an agent came up to me afterwards, and she thanked me for presenting, and she said, "Hey, I was really hesitant to attend today's live training because we don't have $1 million plus properties here." And the topic was basically how to break into and sell more high-end and luxury homes. And but she said, "Michael, based on your definition, we definitely have high-end and we have luxury." So I define luxury homes as home prices that are 3 times the average sale price for that given market. So any given market, you multiply that average sale price by 3, and I believe luxury starts at that price point. Now, of course, you have ultra luxury, which is even greater than that. But luxury, it's all relative. So 3 times whatever the average sale price. So in this example, Crown Point, Indiana, 167 times 3, around 505, 510, or if you want to keep it really simple, 500 and above was luxury. And a step below luxury is what I defined as high-end homes. There's more high-end homes in most markets than there are luxury. High-end is 2 times the average sale price. So using that 167 times 2, you're around 340-ish or 350 in that given market. 350 to 5 would be high-end homes. So as agents are watching this, I mean, it's hard to believe, but we're in the second quarter already of 2019. But if you were to look back at your last 12 months and figure out how many sales you've had, chances are 80 to 90% of all your sales, whether you represented a buyer or seller, will fall into the 4 primary buckets, or price points. The first bucket I like to say would be entry level for your given market. So entry level pricing for your market. The second bucket would be average priced homes in your given market. The third, which would be high end, and the fourth would be luxury. So I'm all about agents working smarter, not harder. And one of the ways they can do that is increase the average sale price of a home they represent. And I believe that the quickest and easiest way to do that is continue selling the homes that pay the bills and have gotten you where you're at or where you want to be, but add some more into that high end and that luxury bucket, and you can increase your average sale price.
I want to really get into how you broke into the luxury market, what you've been able to do, what you've done to maintain the status of a luxury agent in your market. But before we talk about that, let's just talk a little bit about your own business. Like, what are you doing? Where are you? How many deals are you closing? If you're comfortable sharing some numbers and just like average, some averages and stuff like that, so people understand who we're talking to, because, it's important to know, what you've been able to accomplish,
Yeah.
An author of multiple books and being a successful agent and working in luxury, and why you're talking with us today.
Yeah, no problem. So last year, I'm also a national trainer and speaker, author, as you mentioned. I have a certification for agents called Luxury Listing Specialist, and I think we did 24 live trainings last year that I presented at events. I didn't present at Lab Coat, but hopefully this year in June I will be. And, presented at a lot of different events, and I hosted 13 live certification classes, but spoke at like the who's who in luxury real estate, and I spoke at the Keller Williams family reunion. And just this week, I was told that our breakout session got the highest rating, 99% voted excellent for the presentation. So I've been fortunate enough to speak at a lot of these. So with that being said, that's really been a lot of our focus. But I think currently as we're filming this, I have about 85 million in volume and listings, and that's about 18 listings. So the average list price is a little over $4 million. I'm based in the Chicagoland market. We represent some pretty cool properties. The TV show Empire is filmed here in Chicago, and the main characters on the TV show is Terrence Howard. Well, his TV character name is Lucius Lyon, and that main house is on the market with me, and it's on for $9.5 million. We represent some professional athletes. Hopefully we're going to be writing up an offer this week on Michael Jordan's property. I have an investor that's interested. So, those are some of the opportunities that present themselves. But I run a consulting company that helps agents sell these high-end and unique properties as well. Raina James's home on the TV show, formerly on ABC, called Nashville. I'm working with the owner and the agent to get that sold, and just a lot of, cool properties. So I practice what I preach. So I'm not just one of those trainers and speakers that have been there, done that, and not doing it in today's economy. So I'm overcoming objections, going on appointments. I really don't work with buyers. I have a couple buyers agents on my team. I really focus on listings. So the name of our certification, the name of our book is Luxury Listing Specialist. But just like Kevin Costner in The Field of Dreams, I believe if you build the listing inventory, the buyers naturally will come because of website inquiries, sign calls, et cetera, et cetera. So we have no problem working with buyers. Our team doesn't, but we really focus on listings, and then the buyers will come because of that.
Love it. So, man, that's very impressive. Like, you've obviously built an amazing business. You've had lots of success. And I'll say that our company's based in San Francisco, and I have agents that reach out to me. And what you're talking about is very, very exciting. Like, this is where a lot of agents want to be. Like, when people getting into the industry, a lot of agents think of like watching shows and thinking about $1 million listing and all these things, and think they can do it like overnight. You've clearly put in the time, the work, the effort, and it hasn't happened overnight. Like, I can guarantee that, right? So, or maybe it has.
No, it hasn't. It was about 11 years. I've been licensed since 2000. So about 2011, 12 is when I made the shift over to luxury. And I wish I would have done it earlier, Kevin. And the reason it didn't happen earlier is, what I call limiting beliefs that we all have, but most agents' limiting beliefs are very similar to what mine were. The reason they didn't break into luxury or haven't is, I got to be licensed with a certain company, or I got to be licensed X amount of years, or, hey, usually the luxury agents are these older women or older men that have these high net worth clients that they've sold homes generation to generation. And so there's many agents like myself had these limiting beliefs. And so that's one of the things that we talk about in our courses and our trainings, is helping agents with their mindset and putting systems into place to attract more and more opportunities, but to break down those barriers that we all have, like excuses, limiting beliefs, whatever you want to call them.
Okay, so let's get into some details now. This is where this part of the call is going to get very interesting, because I want to talk about exactly step by step what we need to do for someone that wants to break into the luxury market. I know there's probably people on different levels on this call, so I'd like to not to spend too much time on each topic, but I want to get into how to break in. I want to get into how to maintain once you're there, and then how to just build upon your business once, after you've been established. So let's talk a little bit about what you need to do to break in. Let's say I'm an agent, I'm doing deals, I'm successful, or maybe wherever I am in my business, and I want to start focusing on luxury. What do I need to do to start focusing and breaking into the luxury market?
Yeah. Well, Tony Robbins once says, success leaves clues. And I'm a big believer, if agents grow their knowledge, if agents grow their knowledge through reading books, through mentorship, through coaching, through online trainings, whatever it is, if agents grow their knowledge, naturally their confidence will grow. If their confidence grows, Kevin, they're more likely to step out of their comfort zone, to maybe do some prospecting or door knocking or whatever it might be, work an open house in an area that they're not comfortable with. So that's really where the magic happens, Kevin, is when agents step outside of their comfort zone. So one of the questions I always get asked if I'm speaking or contributing on a podcast or an episode like this is, hey, Mike, what would be, if you had to do it all over again, what would be the first 3 things you would do? Or, hey, Mike, if you moved out to San Francisco and Kevin's market, what would be the first 3 things you would do to establish yourself as a luxury agent, a rock star? And number 1 is I would partner up with an office or an agent or a coach that really specializes in it. Just like I said, success leaves clues. So, for example, Kevin, if you're the luxury agent in the San Francisco market and I hung my license at your office, one of the things I would do is I'd work your open houses. Many times, open houses are a great way for agents to break down barriers, start talking to the consumer, walk through those mansions and realize, you know what? It's brick and mortar and sales is sales and I can do this. So, and that's how you grow your confidence. If you grow your confidence, you're more likely to step outside your comfort zone and do some prospecting and some lead generation. And so that would be one of the first things I would recommend is, is hang your license with an office or an agent or a team or investors in some type of coaching and consulting with somebody that can help you. So that's number 1. Number 2, I would build my my network of high net worth individuals in those given markets. So we've all heard of Leads Group or BNI groups. I would start, what I like to call my luxury magnetic marketing group, where I would put together local professionals, business owners, or influencers that cater to high net worth individuals directly or indirectly. So directly could be, the Bentley dealership or high-end clothing or, the luxury stager or, that kind of interior designer, a builder, that sort of thing. But indirectly could be, the PTA president of that private school, and she knows when people are fighting and people are going to be moving out and people are going to be divorcing, and she knows all the gossip of that little community. And so, I believe the best way to get referrals, Kevin, is give them, right? Lead with a giving hand. And it's called reciprocity. And if you do enough good things for people that they're going to want to do good by you as well, right? So hopefully people feel reciprocity versus, takers, and they don't give back. So, that would be, a second thing I would do. And then the third is I would invest in some kind of, mentorship and, or coaching or, books and that sort of thing. There's a lot of great free content out there. This is just a little plug, but I have a podcast called Luxury Listing Specialists on iTunes and Stitcher, and we interview top luxury agents and influencers. And that's just one example. Of course, there's a lot of other great free resources out there, Kevin, and you get different perspectives because it's like a buffet line. I might explain 10 different things that would be a good lead generating source, and maybe that doesn't, 5 of those don't resonate with you, but focus on the 5 that do, Kevin. And in that scenario, if you implement, because the real test is when you walk out the door. I used to be a former high school health and PE teacher, and I had a sign above the door that said that the real test is when you walk out the door. So you're at the mastermind there, the closing table, and you can have some of the best presenters, but unless you implement when you walk out the door, we all have those books on the shelves that collect dust and you don't even open. You don't want to do that. So you got to implement.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned 3 things. You mentioned partnering up with agents or people that are already doing things at a high level. And you said, expose yourself to people that are in those areas, high net worth or high price properties, luxury properties. Number 2, which I think is really cool, I would love to tap into this a little bit more, which is build a network of people who are connected with high net worth people. So you mentioned like the Bentley dealership and start sending referrals. That's easy. I want to chat a little bit more about that. And then the last one is mentorship, coaching, networking with people and learning from people like you.
And number three actually kind of goes with number one. The third one that I didn't cover yet would be, what are you doing as far as prospecting and lead generation? And so I do believe, I believe there's two forms of marketing. There's cold marketing, and that's prospecting, lead generation, canceled, expired, door knock, Facebook ads, etc. And then warm marketing is your database, your sphere. Okay. So warm marketing, number two, the networking group would definitely fall under that. Number one, I think would too as well, right? Working open houses, databases, and that kind of stuff. But the third would be, canceled, expireds, and builders. I think that's the lowest hanging fruit for an agent that's what I would do first. So I work to canceled, expireds, for sale by owners. And I would door knock around. If I'm doing an open house at 123 Elm Street, I would door knock around them. I'd invite the neighbors. I would work around homes that recently sold. And, you got to be ethical. If you didn't sell it, you're not claiming it. But hey, 123 Elm Street recently sold. Not sure if you're thinking about selling in the spring of 2019, but your home might be worth more than you think it is. Call for a no hassle evaluation of your property, that sort of thing. The other thing I always recommend to agents is throw out generalities. So I do a lot of video marketing, content marketing with video. Video is not a fad. Fads come and go, Kevin. Video's here to stay. So content marketing, whether it be on your website, on your blog, whether it be just Facebook Lives, whether it be on your YouTube channel. And video is I think, a way to differentiate yourself. Are you a football guy at all?
Yeah, I love football. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, by the way.
Are you really? Okay, so yeah, I'm a Bears fan. So in September, the Bears traded for Khalil Mack.
Yep, from Oakland, from my area.
Yes, from the Raiders, okay? They signed him to the richest NFL contract for a defensive player in NFL history. The day he was traded, I got a call from, it turns out it's his cousin, but he's a licensed agent in Florida. And he said, hey, I got a high-profile client. I want you to help us out. And so, I showed Pippin's home. I showed Jordan's home. Ultimately, he did use a Coldwell Banker agent that the Bears referred, but I was in the discussion. I was at the table. I had the opportunity where I wouldn't have and this guy found me online. He says, man, I watched a lot of your videos and I know that you know your stuff. So that's how you attract opportunities.
Interesting. This reminds me, when I first moved to San Francisco, I didn't know anyone. I moved from a small town in the Central Valley of Modesto. And
Modesto, I've been there. They have a big Frito-Lay plant in Modesto.
Yeah, there's a lot
I've been there.
Factories. It's a very, very small agricultural town. Yeah. And I hit the reset button on my career, and I moved to San Francisco. And I didn't focus on the luxury market, but I did understand the power of contribution and coming from value and providing opportunities to other highly successful professionals in the industry. So what I did is in business, what I did is I connected with an attorney that did probate, trust, wills, and I knew him from something prior. And I had when I moved to San Francisco, I did everything in my power to get him business. Like I almost had my own business set up just to get him business. And because of that, I was able to generate business on my own. He'd send me referrals and deals that there was no way I would have ever had I not gone out of my way. Every chance I got, I would send him referrals. So it goes to what you're saying, like the Bentley dealership, the private banking people, right? Like at First Republic Bank or whatever high level bank. Connect with those people and provide those people with business and create almost like a business of referrals to highly successful people in different industries that deal with luxury and deal with successful clients that have properties that they want to sell. Naturally, you're going to come back to you, regardless of the level of experience, regardless of whatever. It's just a reciprocity thing, like you said. And I think that that's so easy for us to do. Like it's so easy, and people are going to be welcoming. Like those individuals that are successful, they're not going to close the door. They're going to open the door because that means more business for them. And the more I'm in front of them, the more I'm showing my face, the more they see me, the more they see my name, the more opportunities they're getting because of me. You're just going to get, like, it's just going to come back to you. And it happened for me. And if I had not done that, I probably wouldn't be, doing what I'm doing today. So like, I love number two. To me, that one stands out the most. And to me is the easiest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I tell agents all the time, shy real estate agents have skinny kids. You can't be shy, right? You got to be able to step out of your comfort zone. And we've all gone to social gatherings when there's that one guy there, Kevin, that says, "Oh, I got to introduce you to somebody," and they know everybody. They're making connections, and you want to kind of be known as that guy. So if somebody has a referral or needs a referral, they're coming to you. You're like that, got the black book, right? And of course, you got to do what you say you're going to do as an agent, right? You can't overpromise and underdeliver. You don't want to be known as a salesperson, right? Salespeople sell you a house that doesn't meet your needs. A consultant will say, you know what, based on what you told me, Kevin, I don't think this is the right fit for you. Let's keep looking, right? So that's how you build trust, because it's like Robert De Niro in the movie Meet the Parents. It's tough to penetrate the circle of trust with high net worth individuals. So we really have to build the trust, position yourself through great content marketing as the expert. And, a lot of times in my videos, I always throw out there, second opinion. Like just today, there was a $2.5 million listing. He interviewed 6 agents. It came down to me and this other lady. The other lady had a relationship with the wife. He said, your marketing, I know you're better, probably negotiator, and you do more sales in that price point, but my wife's kind of close to her. She's at the health club. And so we're going to give her the first opportunity. But he goes, I'll keep you in mind. I know some people that have their home on the market, and I always throw out the second opinion. So in this case, I said, hey, Mike, throw it out there. If they want a second opinion, if they're sick and tired, and if being sick and tired, their home's not selling, or their agent just keeps telling them to lower the price, keep me in mind. So I throw that out there all the time, not directly to the people, of course, that are on the market, right? That would be a violation of code of ethics. But I speak in generalities. Hey, if you know of anybody whose home's on the market, a family member, a friend, and they need a free second opinion, pass along my information. So that's another way that I just constantly are reminding people, oh man, yeah, second opinion, because it's the reticulator activator, right? It's the brain, the part of your brain that heightens awareness to certain things, right? Pregnant women notice other pregnant women. I got a Jaguar recently, and I noticed other Jaguars. Well, when people are buying or selling a home, or thinking of buying or selling a home, they're more likely to tune in and hear other people thinking of buying or selling. So that's why if you plant those second opinion seeds, you might attract more opportunities.
That's really smart. So do you have marketing around that? Do you do videos, or you say, hey, second opinion? Like, are you doing it going that far with it, or is it just conversations? Or because I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. So we do a lot of educational videos for consumers, but also for real estate agents, right? So our video blog for real estate agents is just Lux Redefined, LUXE redefined.com. And you'll see I do a lot of different videos for real estate agents. But if I'm doing like a spring update would be a perfect one. Hey, how are home prices in Chicagoland doing in April of 2019 versus last year in April? And so I might talk about, and I use a lot of good visuals. So I'm a big fan of Viral Marketing. Maybe you know Viral, but Frank over at Viral, they do a lot of my editing of my videos. And so I'm a big believer you got to have great visuals. So Kevin, many times when people are on their smartphone and they're at work, they're just thumbing through a video and they're not listening to it. They're just thumbing through their Facebook feed or whatever. And so I believe a video's got to be engaging. It's got to have good visuals. They have to be able to follow along through good visuals, even if they have it on mute and they're not listening. On the same token, I believe if they set their phone down and they're over here working on their desk and just listening, they should be able to audio just only, follow along and get some great content. And then when you mirror both of them together, great visuals and great audio, you have a rock star video. So to answer your question, we've created videos on second opinion, but we've also just consistently throw it out there in a lot of our videos.
Got it. And I think part of that too, with regards to video, is we're competing for people's attention, right?
Yes.
And what captures people's attention is, number one, something that's entertaining. And how does something become entertaining? It's because it may be unexpected, or there's some humor, or there's some value, or there's something that is not typical, right? It's like with the visuals, it's something that they may not be seeing all the time.
Right.
So, and going back real quick to, you said the circle of trust, like you mentioned Robert De Niro, it's hard to break in. Going back to, and this is why I think number 2 for you, like what you mentioned, the top 3, number 2, the connection, right, the relationship, referral, sort of like industry referral, business to business kind of referrals is so important, is it's much easier for someone to open up that circle of trust when they have a recommendation from someone that they already trust.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, we're talking about breaking into or selling more high-end and luxury homes. So again, you always have to think of the avatar, think of your ideal client and what keeps them awake at night, right? So many of these individuals have been taken advantage of, right? Whether it be financially, whether it be by other service providers, whether it be just by the landscape guy, that landscape guy to cut their grass around a half acre, but they have a multi-million-dollar home, might charge $100 to cut his grass. And there's a house that's entry level down the street on 2 acres, and he might charge that guy $50, even though he's got a couple acres versus a half acre, right? So they've been taken advantage of. So you really gotta think about that. And one of the ways you penetrate the circle of trust is with their influencers, people in their inner circle. Do a good job by them, and those referrals will naturally come.
We talked a lot about breaking into the market, and we're actually almost out of time, but I want to talk a little bit about, now that you've broken into the market, how do you maintain? How do you stay relevant with that audience?
Yeah, you got to do what you say you're going to do, first off, right? And you got to communicate with your client throughout the process. And that's no different in any price point. But a lot of these high-end and luxury homes, talking about listings right now, Kevin, they're taking a lot longer, right? The shift is occurring in many markets. I believe in every market, the shift occurs from a seller's market to a buyer's market at some price point. So maybe in LA, it's $5 million and above. And 90210, it's $8 million. And Davenport, Iowa, it's $250. But at some price point, the shift occurs in every market from a seller's market to a buyer's market. A buyer's market, there's not as much showings. Market time increases. List to sale ratio is less. And so you have to communicate with your client throughout the process, keep them updated, communicate with them the way they want to be communicated with, right? Whether it be text, email, face-to-face. And then develop processes, right? Systems and process, just like franchises are successful, because you can't open up a McDonald's in LA and say, I want my arches to be blue versus the golden arches, right? You got to develop systems, Kevin.
Right. So Michael, this has been really, really informative. One of the reasons why I love hosting these is I just learned so much, and I've learned a ton here with you today, man. This has been so good. You shared a lot of information. If someone wants to find you, I know you have the coaching. You've written lots of books. You do a lot of things for the industry. Where can we find you? Where can we look you up? Where can we learn more? How do we find out more?
Yeah. So emails probably the easiest. Just Michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. Michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. Check out our podcast. I know it's backwards, but it's just Luxury Listing Specialist. It's on iTunes or Stitcher. We just released our 55th episode today. Anthony Lamacchia, he's out of Boston. He runs a small little boutique there. He just launched a luxury division for his little boutique 60 days ago. And I thought that's a pretty cool topic, because there might be other broker owners or team leaders that, unfortunately, Kevin, most major brands, and I know all the major franchises and brokerages, most of their luxury divisions are by default are a different logo and a different sign, and that's about it. And so I'm all about raising the standard, raising the bar through better training, better resources, and consumer focus, not just agent focus, but how can we help the consumer? Because guess what? If the consumer has a bad experience selling their luxury home, then they're going to go with the 1% companies and these other things. We have to continually bring value to the table. If not, we'll just be another commodity.
Now, I know we're almost out of time, but I have to ask this, because I think there's something that's on a lot of people's minds as lots of different companies are coming and different things are happening. How important is it to work with a luxury brand? Like, is it important to work with a company that is recognized as luxury? Do we have to work with like a bigger company? Can we be more of a boutique? Is it more my marketing myself? Is it company? Like, what do you understand my question?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. So just to peel back the onion and tell you how I think a little bit, I believe that, let's just say, Sotheby's is an amazing brand, right? It's recognized worldwide. If they're dominating a market in San Francisco, I purposely don't want to be with them. I want to be with something different. And especially if it's a buyer's market for those ultra luxury, because now my story is, hey, and I'm just using them as an example, could be Coldwell Banker, could be XYZ Realty, but hey, do you want to keep going with XYZ Realty when you know what the results, and so there's something to be said about being with a boutique or the new kid on the block. I'm a big believer when everybody goes left, I go right. When everybody shows up with their tablets, I'm showing up with the video book with a 10-inch monitor. I just show up differently, and I'm all about that. So I would tell you, can a brand hurt you? It can hurt you, but can a brand help you? Sure, a brand can. I think a brand would help maybe more newbie agents or agents that have more limiting beliefs. But for those successful agents out there that maybe don't sell luxury, but they're successful, you don't need to be with that brand. You just got to rethink and reposition yourself and look at your strengths and really emphasize and accentuate your strengths.
I love that. I love breaking through limiting beliefs. I've learned a ton on this call, Michael. This has been great. You guys watching this, follow Michael, find him online, check out his courses. Like, personally, I've been in business since 2002. I learned a ton from you today, man. Thank you so much for being on with us. We'll definitely have you on again, and I hope to see you at LCA Live, man.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
See ya. Prove them wrong.
Yeah.